What I'm showing you here is a very big power plant, a coal-fired power plant, which has been built in Hamburg, in Germany. This power plant has been built in the, from 2007 until 2014, and it has been heavily challenged by opposition from environmental groups, from the Green Party. There was a big fight around it. The Greens made a big pledge in their local campaign for the mayor of Hamburg and for the Senate of Hamburg, for the local parliament. And they were actually then able to form a coalition. And so a Green person became the environment minister of Hamburg. And this denied the permit to withdraw water for the power plant. And the company didn't go to the German court, it did go to an international tribunal under a treaty called the Energy Charter, which is another kind of energy-specific investment agreement. The interesting bit in this case is that later on, Germany got sued under the European environmental law for not fulfilling its obligation under the Habitat Directive. So, now it's Germany's non-compliant with European environmental law because it has been essentially allowing this company to get its way. It's kind of a contradiction between the jurisdiction of this international arbitral tribunal that essentially forced its way into the German law and the European Court of Justice, and this is quite remarkable. A company, actually a Canadian company which has a US subsidiary, which was essentially suing Canada and for fracking rights in Quebec. There was a ban after a lot of campaigning, a lot of obviously opposition against fracking, and the fracking rights were denied. Montana Resources was suing, and it's still suing, $241 million US for compensation. The case is still pending, so we don't know. Maybe Canada will win and get away. That's fine, but it's already a threat for Canada. Another case, probably well known to many of you because it has been quite prominent in the US. The battle around the Keystone XL pipeline. A lot of protests, civil disobedience, you know about it. It has been really internationally well-known battle. People have been fighting very hard for years. At the end, Obama has been denying the company TransCanada the right to build the Keystone XL pipeline. And again, the company has been filing a claim with the International Arbitral Tribunal for $15 billion US. Now, the whole case is in some way moot because Trump has now allowed the pipeline to go forward. So, in that case, it wasn't necessary for the tribunal to intervene. So it's withdrawn, that claim, but still it shows that even the US is not immune for this kind of investor claims in international tribunals. Another case, actually from Ecuador and from a place that I know from my own experience. I've been working in Ecuador from 1990 to 1992. So, and in the province of Sucumbíos, the northern part of the Ecuadorian Amazon, Texaco has been extracting petroleum there for decades, since the early 70s. Seen situations like this, there's a lot of oil pollution in the rainforest. It's a terrible situation. There has been a case brought forward under Ecuadorian law against Chevron, the company that essentially bought Texaco, to pay for the damage done. There has been actually an award under Ecuadorian law for billions of indemnification against Chevron. Now, Chevron has been countering that jurisdiction and of Ecuadorian courts, and the interesting bit is it's still pending, but the interesting bit is that there have been interim decisions against Ecuador. So the Interest of State Tribunal in this case has granted several of Chevron's requests. One is it has ordered Ecuador's government to violate its own constitution and block enforcement of a ruling upheld on appeal in its independent court system. It's quite amazing that this international tribunal has gone above the Ecuadorian court system, and it also, the tribunal interpreted the Ecuadorian constitution. This is a quite amazing case, again, how an international tribunal of 3 corporate lawyers essentially supersedes national legislation and national legal systems. The whole system is rapidly expanding. It's actually quite frightening. This is a statistic how many ISDS cases are being launched. And while we had, in the first 30 years of that ISDS regime, we had just 50 cases in total. But since 2011, we have 50 cases each year, and it's going up. It's actually a whole industry now. You can invest into cases, ISDS cases, and get reward by some of the, if you win the case, or if a company wins the case, you get a share of the treaties, the investment agreements that US has concluded alone. Governments in total have been ordered to pay nearly 4.5 billion in compensation, and there are still 58 billion remain pending. So it's quite a significant threat. I think we can actually stop this. Morta's already said that there is a growing opposition. Many countries are starting to review their investment agreements, and I think our movement has made great progress in the context of the opposition to TTIP, and we just need to revitalize that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.